So I checked out this video of an episode of First Take a few days ago, and the topic was, who is the biggest threat to Milwaukee in the East? Not once in this entire sequence were the Toronto Raptors even brought up.
Which team is the biggest threat to Giannis and the Bucks in the East?
Well, for me, it would be the Miami Heat.
They don't have the size that Ben Simmons and Embiid do.
So Jay, I'm hearing this correctly. You're agreeing. You're agreeing with the Sixers. You're agreeing with Max on the Sixers, correct, Jay?
I am.
Hood on my back was busting two folds like Kobe Bryant. Sometimes I think like, what's the likelihood of Kobe dying? I'm so rich, yeah, I can bust down the whole little wrist. I drop my double law with a stick.
No, I agree with both the 76ers and the Miami Heat being major threats to Milwaukee, but the fact that this Toronto Raptors team, who through 64 games had the exact same record as they did last year with Kawhi Leonard on the team, wasn't mentioned. That's disrespectful. First of all, let's take a look at what it takes to beat Giannis and the Bucks. The Raptors were able to do it last year with elite defense on Giannis, keeping him out of the paint, and when he does get to the paint, he's got long defenders he's got to deal with like Siakam, Ibaka, and Gasol. Not only that, but Chris Middleton became Chris Middlebrick, Eric Bledsoe smoke layups, and that was the recipe for victory over the Bucks. Also, keeping the turnovers limited and playing great transition defense is huge too, because Giannis in transition is damn near unstoppable. You cannot let him get out there in transition. But why are people acting like this is no longer possible for the Raptors to play defense like this against Giannis? Yeah, they lost Kawhi Leonard, but they have now got back a secret weapon who I think is the X factor for the squad, and that is OG Anunoby. OG is the same height as Leonard and has a wingspan that is just an inch shorter. He also just so happens to be a good defender too. Obviously he isn't Kawhi Leonard good, but don't sleep on him. And don't sleep on this team either. Just like LeBron said, they won the championship for a reason. It wasn't just all solely because of Kawhi. What is definitely irreplaceable though is Kawhi's 30 points per game that he put up in that series against the Bucks. Of course, now without that certified superstar, there's a lot more ball movement and other players with increased roles like Pascal Siakam. He's been great this year. Also, I should have mentioned this by now, but holy shit, Nick Nurse. This dude has the best defensive schemes in the entire NBA. He has earned that Coach of the Year award this year, and he knows how to utilize his defensive weapons perfectly. It's not just multiple great defenders out there, but it is great defensive schemes and a variety of them at that. There are stretches where teams will look lost against Toronto because of how good their defense is. This is what Jason Tatum had to say about that.
You know, I did a piece with Jason Tatum a few weeks ago, and I asked him, who's the toughest guard for you? Who's the guy that gives you the most trouble on offense? He said, well, it's a team. It's the Toronto Raptors. Wow. Because they throw so much stuff at you, it drives me crazy. I could tell you it's Lowry, I could tell you it's this guy, it's the way they do it. Nick Nurse, the job he's done, Coach of the Year.
I saw on Twitter the other day, someone called them Harassic Park, and that is perfectly fitting because they legit harass teams with their lockdown defense. I would love to see a series with Toronto and Milwaukee. Both teams have played great defense this year, but I'm going to acknowledge the Heat and 76ers as major threats to Milwaukee too. Let's start off with Philly. Philly, like Toronto, has many defensive weapons, possibly better defensive weapons. Simmons is a sleeper defensive player of the year candidate. You've got Joel Embiid, Al Horford, Josh Richardson, and the rookie Matisse Thybulle is serious on defense too. They do lack the defensive mastermind coach that Toronto has. I could see Brett Brown being fired sometime soon if we're being honest. But Ben Simmons has done a great job against Giannis earlier on in the season defensively, and if he does end up getting past Ben, he's either going to be Joel Embiid or Al Horford right in front of him at the rim. For Philly, they still have to figure out what to do with their lineup situation because the first game with Shake Milton starting at point guard, that ended up going terrible for Shake Milton. It is just one game though, so there's no need to overreact about it right now, but we know that Horford and Embiid cannot be on the floor together. We've seen that. This team has the personnel to take down the Bucks, but I don't think they have the coaching to do it. And also they have consistently played bad outside of their home arena, and that's concerning. But let's take a look at the Miami Heat. This is a lot of people's sleeper team, and that is for a good reason. In both matchups this year, they beat the Bucks, and I don't like bringing up regular season games when talking about the playoffs because most of the time it's not relevant. But for this occasion, I feel like it is. During the game they played in March, Giannis got embarrassed by Miami's defense, specifically Bam Adebayo. When guarded by Adebayo, Giannis put up 4 points on 2 for 10 shooting. 2 for 10, people. If we are declaring anyone as the Giannis stopper, it is this guy. If you watch the game, you know. He struggled to do anything on Bam Adebayo, but there's two problems with Miami. One is not having that long defender to hold Giannis down on the perimeter to prevent him from getting to the rim in the first place like a Ben Simmons. Of course, having Bam holding it down inside helps that out a lot, but you still gotta keep the guy from getting inside in the first place. The second problem, there is no superstar that's gonna go out there and give you 30 points a night like Leonard did for Toronto last year. Jimmy is nice, but he's not that guy. Let's not forget that the Bucks are elite defensively themselves. You can lock down Giannis all you want, but if you can't score yourself, then you're gonna have a hard time beating the Bucks, especially if someone like Middleton is hitting their shots. Basically, all three of these teams are capable of giving the Bucks a run for their money and even potentially beating them in a 7-game series. Boston could be considered a threat, but they aren't as much of a threat as these three because these three have the facilities to really fuck with Giannis. Boston just needs to put Taco's big ass out there and let him hold down the paint. But I still see the Bucks as the favorite in the East, as long as Middleton doesn't fall apart like he did in the Toronto series and Eric Bledsoe too. The amount of layups that motherfucker smoked in that series, holy shit. The point is, Giannis is a player that can be stopped, but in order to stop him, you have to put a ton of focus on him, meaning other players will get good opportunities, and if they fail to step up with the opportunity they get, then the team is done. But please do not sleep on these Toronto Raptors. They might not have Kawhi, but they are still legit. They are still Harassic Park, and they will harass your favorite player and your favorite team into a loss. Best believe it. But that's gonna wrap up today's video. Comment your thoughts about everything down below in the comment section and let's start a discussion. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop this bitch a like and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. My previous 2 videos will pop up on the screen right about now, but that's gonna do it for this video. I'm out of here.